Hey Will, okay, so I thought a video might be much more helpful than trying to explain this all in an email. So there's a couple things that I want to talk about. First, in week 2 of cybersecurity, this was obviously way too much information for the students. So what I actually did was I deleted this one, the purpose of cybersecurity, typical Unix kernel, understanding current threats, the how a threat is described for both Windows and a Mac, where can I find out more, and knowing your enemies. I kept this securing my digital information, but then I also got rid of this, what is a penetration test in the 5 phases. That allowed my students to have time to complete these 1.1.1, 1.2, 1.1.2, and 1.1.3. Okay, so if you kind of take a look in here, like what my students now see, is they just have 1.1.1, 1.1.2, 1.1.3. I actually added something about the syllabus, the what is a virtual machine, installing Windows 7, securing my digital information, and then this week 2 learning target reflection. I had to modify that, and then the summative. The summative I also modified. I'm down to a total of 8 questions. So these are the 8 questions that I deleted. It was, I think, questions 3 through 6 got deleted. So now I just have questions about the VM, summarizing the passphrase, recording the Loom about the specific lab, and then why it's important to keep track of information online. So this seems to be manageable for my students. In terms of grading, I think I wanted to show you this. It's really easy to grade stuff. So I'll just go to like one of the classes here. And if I go to grade book, you kind of get a list of like all of the students. And then you can see right here if they have turned in a file or not. So for like a lot of their formative work this week, I can see like this 1.1.1, pretty much every student except for John has turned in this assignment. And if I wanted to spot check, I can just click on the assignment and just kind of see what they turned in right here. Okay, but it's a really easy to thing in here if I just wanted to go through here and give these 30 points or whatever, and then this one is obviously missing. So you can grade pretty easy using this method. Now, once you have this gets a little bit complicated to like see in here. You can click on the 3 dots right here, and we can export this. It's like a CVS file. And then I just found this right here is a lot easier to like take a look at, and I can just like focus on the specific things that I want, clean this spreadsheet up. But it's really easy for me, at least, to then take this data and transfer it into Aspen. And remember, next year, hopefully, like we won't even have to transfer this into Aspen. It'll just automatically do it for us. So that's great. Now, in terms of number 3, or week 3, I'm finishing that up right now. I was really looking through these because I know there's a lot of assignments, so I'm trying to cut them down. One thing that I did was in here was 1.1.4. I already deleted that one, so 1.1.4 PLTW has been deleted. I'm going to go ahead and these 3, for right now, I've just gone to unpublish them. But I'm not gonna send these to my students. So the installing and using a password manager and the 2-factor authentication stuff, although I think that this stuff's really cool and useful, I think this up here is much more important. Okay, so now you notice I have 2 groups. I'm gonna actually DI this a little bit this week. So group A is going to get the PLTW 1.2.4 firewalls and malware. Group B is going to get this intro to social engineering. So this is going to be the group that is struggling a little bit more in the class or doesn't have a lot of the foundational concepts, whereas this is the group that is really kind of excelling. Group B will be able to get this information later on in the course, so I'm not really worried about that. And Group A should already know what like social engineering is, because they're the high flyers. So if somebody knows what social engineering is and stuff, I feel like they don't have to watch these 2 videos. So I've kind of just split up. So it's going to be a DI activity at some point during the week. There's also an extra credit activity. I spent a while creating this article, and I think it's a really awesome article, so I didn't want to exclude it. However, it's a little bit technical. So if you open this article up and read this, it's really cool. But it's pretty technical, but it kind of talks about spoofing email addresses and how to prevent it and how people do it and stuff like that. So it's really cool, but I don't know that it's necessarily going to be, I think it's a little too advanced for most of my students, but some of them might get a kick out of it. So, okay, anyway, I think that that's week 3. I'm going to spend some time this evening modifying the summative assessment. And so this should be all good to go on Wednesday morning. All right. Let me know if you have any questions. Hopefully this video was helpful. Oh, last thing. So, like you mentioned, when you're copying these my PLTW, the worksheets aren't copying. They're not copying from me either. But hopefully you can just open these worksheets up, okay, and then you can just make a copy of them. Okay, file, make a copy, and then when you like move these, move like week 3, and you copy this to your course. So I'll copy it to like my main south. You're just gonna have to. So now I'll go to my main south. See that right here. Find the MyPLTW. Okay, so we just click on the gear, go to edit, click on the Google Drive assignment right here, and then hopefully because you've copied it, you can just find 1.2.1 or whatever the name of the worksheet is right there, and you can just copy it in there. So anyway, hopefully that's helpful. I don't know why it's not copying correctly, but it's not that big of a deal to just edit it and reattach them. So all right, let me know if you have any questions.